Let's go make a flower with micro pens and then do a treatment so we can add some watercolor effect. To begin with, I take my fine point pens, these are not waterproof, and I am just making petals on the outside with a slight triangular shape as I follow the edging of this circular flower. I add my petals, and now I'm taking my micro pens and giving it a little motion. I like the way that the colors are going to fluctuate between each petal, and really I'm just giving little tiny partial lines so it gives an emphasis to the shape of this flower. I'm definitely using all of the different colors that I see fit, and so lavenders and purples. I'm playing with the colors that I like and giving some of the colors just to the tip of these triangular little petals. Sometimes I'm just putting a little bit of a dot, other times I'm putting more of a stitch mark or a slight curve. I do try to follow the shapes of these little petals to give them a fun movement in the way it looks. Finally, to go around the center with some lighter colors, adding just a hint of yellows and oranges. And now for my leaf, and following again that little pattern in the center, giving it a little movement. I'm using a moss green and a forest green. Give a slight contrast of colors, more like a hint of colors to each other. And again, giving a little of that movement with my sketch lines, not fully defined lines. And now for my stem, I want to give a little shading lines to the left. Over there to balance the larger leaf to the right. Now we're done with our sketch, and it's pretty the way it's more like a motion made to this flower. Little blues. I'm feeling pretty satisfied with my leaves, and I'm feeling the need to add just a little more color and tip definition to the flower, to the center of it, and to the petals. Highlighting with a little yellow. I'm feeling satisfied with the motion of this pretty little drawing of a flower. Now for part 2. Let's make this into a little watercolor. We know that these are not waterproof fine pens, so I take a cotton swab and I gently go around to blend some of these, adding water. I don't want to bleed only one dominant color, so I switch out my cotton swabs to pick up those yellows that I put in there, the oranges. And also you can see that I am not completely painting every single surface. I leave some of it a little white and variegated just to give it some natural depth and flow in this now watercolor that we're doing. As the water settles into the fine lines, it makes it bleed the color to the forms, and as you see into the leaf, I try to follow the lines as I'm applying the water so that it picks up the depth and then carries it over and it kind of shades it naturally. The watercolors definitely brought the fine line definition to more blurred and shading, so I wanted to highlight the center a bit, and I reapplied some of the pretty darker reds right to the center, and tipping it off, letting it have some color, but really wanted to have it pop out into the center, which was my goal, and I'm satisfied. Thank you so much for coming with me today as we make a fine line flower with movement. And then we also took it to another level by applying some water and making a little gentle watercolor. I am wishing you happy and wonderful creations.